New Mexico, for all border states, for the whole country. It's going to hurt our ranchers, our agriculture people, our farmers. It's going to be devastating. And it's a wrong policy because it's based on the president's impulse. He has obsessions, trade wars, immigration, the wall, Senator McCain. There's no strategy behind this, and I think the impact is going to be it's putting his own agreement with Mexico and trade, the USMCA, in real jeopardy. If you're going to have basically a free trade agreement and all of a sudden you keep using the tariff issue, put tariff trade wars on countries that you have agreements with, why is Mexico and Canada and the U.S. Congress going to want to approve this?
So, Libby, how does this all play into the quest for an agreement with China? We've got USMCA potentially up in the air at this point. We have not much progress, and it looks like a ratcheting up of tensions between the U.S. and China. Where do we stand? How does a political risk change?
Yeah, well, I think in some ways this has sort of disabused the narrative that, President Trump won't wage, two fights at once. I think that's been sort of the common accepted narrative that he would, sequence some of these fights. I think what we've seen yesterday with his announcement is that, in fact, President Trump really believes very strongly about his views on trade policy and on immigration and on national security. So I think that that is one narrative that is being disabused by the market right now. As it relates to sort of the China, engagement or tensions, I think this could have some impact. I think the perception probably from the Chinese is that the United States might be in a weaker negotiating position. They also may not trust President Trump. I think that trust was already being somewhat compromised, but that's probably even being more called into question, just given sort of this about face with Mexico. I will say, however, that it's really important just to remember that the markets, again, keep underestimating the president on what he has said. He has said that he believes there is an emergency at the national border, a national emergency at the border. Whether we agree with that or not, it is what the president believes. He believes that, China has been cheating in terms of trade agreements. So I just think we need to take, President Trump both literally and seriously in terms of what he said. And in some ways, the announcement yesterday is very consistent with that.
So let me get a quick answer, if I might, Libby, from you on the following question. The president has said, I believe publicly and reportedly privately as well, that he believes tariffs help the United States, make us economically stronger. Do they?
Well, look, I think our economists might disagree with that. But again, I don't know if that's really relevant here. What's relevant here from a market's perspective is what the president believes and what will happen, not necessarily what should happen or whether we agree or disagree. So I think that the point here is that the president believes that tariffs are working. He believes that he gets better deals from the imposition of tariffs. And I think he does believe that from an economic perspective that these might maybe not be helpful, but they're maybe not as damaging as some of the folks who are warning on the street are.
How likely, Bill, is retaliation by Mexico? Mexico with the new president. I'm sure he wants to prove his strength there.
Well, first, this does nothing to help the immigration issue. Secondly, Mexico's been quite restrained. AMLO, the new president, has not said anything terribly negative about the president talking about the wall, the immigration coming in, Mexico not doing enough. He's been restrained. But now, his back is against the wall. Mexico is going to have to retaliate if we pursue this foolish policy. And it's going to affect our economy. It's going to affect the border. Mexico is going to put sanctions on our products, too. And what's going to happen with the Mexico agreement? It has to be ratified by the Mexican Senate. The new president, AMLO, has sent it to the Mexican Senate. And what if the Mexican Senate says, we have to start striking back at the United States? We've been rather restrained in these insults that President Trump has sent us. This policy that he's sending, he's defying us. So I don't understand the strategy, and it helps nothing with immigration, especially when you're saying that we're cutting off aid to Honduras, to El Salvador, Central American countries that are the ones that are sending a lot of these asylum seekers and migrants to the U.S. border. I don't understand the strategy.